Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, including news. There's been some strong labour market data out of the US. Job growth rose solidly in January and wages rebounded. A show of economic strength that put mid-year interest rate increases from the Federal Reserve back on the table. The American participation rate rose, and the sharply higher revisions to the previous 2 months underscored how strong the data is. There were 2.9 million more people employed at the end of 2014 than at the beginning, plus another 257,000 rise in January 2015. This data was well above market expectations. More than that, hours worked rose very fast in the December quarter of 2014, up the fastest since 1998. And hourly compensation rose 2.8% for the year. This is the sort of data that will have the Fed dusting off its inflation watch manuals, and is why markets are betting the Fed may raise interest rates mid-year or even sooner. In New York, benchmark US Treasury 10-year bond yields have been pushed higher on the labour market news and are up to 1.96%. These rises will be reflected in local New Zealand swap rates at some point. Greece's decision to reject austerity is playing out a dangerous gamble, as the country could be out of cash before the end of the month. A request by them to raise an extra $5 billion in short-term debt was immediately rejected by the ECB. Although most people seem to be rooting for the little guy, its chances of winning this game of chicken they started seem slim. The new government doesn't like the gross indignity of having to reform to pay back their excess borrowing, and it seems odd that they want to borrow more now without strings. Data over the weekend showed that China's trade performance slumped in January, with exports falling more than 3% from a year ago, while imports tumbled almost 20%, far worse than analysts had expected, and highlighting the deepening weakness in their domestic economy. But it did push its trade surplus to a record high. In Brazil, the state-owned oil company is in a corruption and integrity crisis, so the government there has appointed a banker to sort it out. Seems an odd choice to me. The oil price rose over the weekend on the American jobs data and is now up to $52 a barrel, with the Brent crude at $58 a barrel. On the other hand, gold has fallen sharply and is now at $1,233 an ounce. China, for one, has sharply cut its buying. We start this week with the New Zealand dollar about a cent higher than where it was when we started last week, is up to 73.5 US cents, 94.4 Aussie cents, and the TWI is at 76.9. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.